It started 2 months ago. With every passing day, this war isn't just growing, it's evolving. Heavier weapons, smarter missiles, and a wider geographical scope. The line of fire stretches from the Gulf to the Mediterranean and from Baghdad to Tel Aviv. Today, we're going to walk you through the last 2 months of this war from both sides of the front. The first strikes. Donald Trump quietly uploaded a video to social media. No caption, no explanation. Just massive explosions tearing through the night sky. Millions watched the footage and asked one question. Where is this? According to a U.S. official who spoke to the Wall Street Journal, the video that Trump shared showed an American strike on the historic Iranian city of Isfahan. A major ammunition depot there was hit with 900-kilogram bunker buster bombs, weapons specifically designed to penetrate deep underground before detonating. These aren't ordinary munitions. They're a message. But Isfahan wasn't alone. That same night, explosions echoed across Tehran. Power cuts swept through large parts of the capital, leaving millions in the dark. The Israeli military announced that it had attacked Imam Hussein University, an institution run by Iran's Revolutionary Guard, which Israel claims was being used for advanced weapons research. 2 countries, simultaneous strikes, in a single night, coordinated, calculated, deliberate. Iran hits back. Iran had no intention of standing down. Ballistic missiles traced bright lines across the skies above the West Bank and Tel Aviv, heading towards Jerusalem. At least 10 blasts were reported in 2 separate waves of attacks, roughly 30 minutes apart. No casualties or damage have been officially confirmed, although it is worth noting that all information coming out of Israel must be cleared by the military before publication, so the full picture on the ground remains unclear. The war's shockwaves had already crossed borders. A Kuwaiti tanker caught fire at the port of Dubai. Debris from an air defense interception ignited a blaze in an abandoned building, leaving 4 people injured. In Baghdad, shrapnel from a drone intercepted while targeting the U.S. embassy fell into a nearby neighborhood, wounding 1 person. NATO air defenses also shot down a ballistic missile over Turkish airspace, the 4th such incident since the war began. The 4th time. This is a war that has now reached NATO territory. Let that sink in for a moment. Washington's ultimatum. After weeks of relentless bombardment, the U.S. unleashed its most powerful weapons. Washington issued Tehran with another stark warning. Accept the deal, or the next phase of the war will be decisive. A U.S. official put it bluntly. Yes, they will still fire some missiles, but we will shoot them down. The last 24 hours saw the lowest number of missiles and drones fired by Iran since the war began. They will go underground, but we will find them. We recently destroyed another one of their command bunkers. Their leaders were forced to flee. There is no water, no power, and no oxygen. The U.S. claimed that Iran is firing fewer missiles holds some truth, but it has not stopped. In fact, it's changing its approach. Iran's new strategy Tehran has recalibrated in order to avoid losing this war. It's now shifting towards fewer but far heavier and more precise weapons. Iran has announced that it has deployed an upgraded version of the Fattah missile, which has a range of around 1,000 kilometers and is capable of carrying a 600-kilogram warhead. What makes this missile particularly dangerous is the way it is launched, from a road mobile platform. No fixed base is required. A truck, a road, a moment, and the missile is airborne. It is nearly impossible to track in advance. Iran is also relying on its Imad, Fattah, and Khaybar-Shekan 4 missiles. These weapons are faster, more accurate, and built for one purpose: to punch through Patriot air defense batteries. And it's working. Tel Aviv has been hit again. The city of Petah in central Israel was hit by Iranian missiles. Israel has confirmed that cluster munitions caused the damage. Drone footage revealed the extent of the destruction to residential buildings in Bnei Brak. A resident who experienced the attack firsthand described what he saw. I looked around and saw that the rocket had landed right on the building beside us. I went to check on my father, and then we went to see if anyone needed help. Behind every statistic, there is always a story like this. The fire spreads to the Gulf. This war is no longer confined to Iran and Israel. Saudi Arabia has intercepted 5 missiles targeting its oil-rich eastern province. Bahrain sounded missile alerts. Over Dubai, air defenses destroyed an Iranian missile mid-air, lighting up the midnight sky with a massive fireball. In Iraq, fresh footage showed a raging fire on a tarmac housing a support center for the U.S. Embassy. The Israeli military has claimed to have struck dozens of weapons production sites across Iran, including a long-range surface-to-air missile manufacturing facility in Tehran. The U.S. continues to bomb command bunkers and underground facilities throughout the country. But amid all this, ordinary people are being overlooked. One Iranian stood in front of a camera and said, "My brother was not in the military. He was not in the IRGC. He wasn't a militia member either. He was just an ordinary person whose home was destroyed at 3:30 in the morning." The victory claim and the reality. Donald Trump is declaring victory. He is threatening to obliterate Iran's entire energy infrastructure if a ceasefire deal is not reached. The message is clear: surrender or lose everything. But look up at the skies over West Asia. Raging flames over Haifa. Thick black smoke is swallowing the horizon. This is Israel's largest oil facility, and it has been hit again by Iran. Israel claims the fire was sparked by intercepted missile debris and insists there was no direct hit. However, the images on the ground tell a different story. Israel's missile defense systems are clearly struggling to cope with the relentless waves of Iranian missiles and drones. In Be'er-Sheva, an Iranian missile hit a factory. The Arab town of Shefa Amr in northern Israel was also heavily attacked. One resident described the moment. 2 or 3 hours ago, I was just sitting at home. I'm the uncle of the owner of the house that was hit. I heard the sirens, and then seconds later, the explosion. I thought it was my house. Thank God there were no casualties. Shrapnel fell across the area. The rescue teams arrived immediately and cordoned off the area. This is the reality they work in, 24 hours a day. The logic of this war. To understand this war, it is necessary to take a step back. The U.S. and Israel's strategy is simple. Sustained bombardment to weaken Iran's military capabilities, force its leaders underground, and use economic pressure to break the will of its people. Iran's strategy, on the other hand, can be summed up in a single word: persistence. Ballistic missiles are launched in waves, drones are deployed to distract and exhaust air defenses. Systems are pushed to their limits. Gaps open up. When they do, strikes get through. Iran is no longer operating in the shadows. The IRGC is openly targeting the economic and military core of its adversaries: oil facilities, ports, factories, and cities. The message is clear: corner us, and we will hurt you too. The world holds its breath 2 months in. The toll is staggering. Thousands have been killed. Energy supplies from the Gulf to the Mediterranean have been disrupted. Global oil markets are in turmoil. Millions of people are living through this war with no idea when it will end. Meanwhile, American Marines and U.S. warships are repositioning for potential ground operations. Washington says it is entering the final phase. Tehran says it will press on. Right now, they might both be telling the truth. Neither side is considering stopping. The world is holding its breath and watching. In this war, every missile has a target. Every explosion has an address. And behind every news story is a real human being. A father, a brother, a neighbor. We are here to make these people visible. We are here to tell the stories of those lost in the shadow of statistics. We give a voice to those who have none. If you believe these stories deserve to be heard, the most meaningful thing you can do right now is subscribe. Turn on notifications. Then share this video with someone you know. After all, a story is only as powerful as the people it reaches. See you in the next video.